A very good evening to all of you. On the third day of presentation, semester 2, I am going to deal with paper number 108, the American literature. In that paper, my today's topic is Eugene O'Neill's use of naturalistic dialogue in his play Long Day's Journey into Night. This is my personal information. In table of contents, I am going to deal with brief overview of Eugene O'Neill's life, about the play, definition of naturalistic dialogue and its key features, examples of naturalistic dialogue from the play, significance of the dialogues and conclusion. An overview of Eugene O'Neill's life. Eugene O'Neill, in full name Eugene Gladstone O'Neill, was born in the year 1888. Foremost American dramatist and winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1936. Being a prominent literary figure, he also received critics through his plays. His works analyzed from various points of view, not only in America but in the parts of the world. His most of the plays involve tragedy and pessimism. As we know that the long day's journey into night is also about the tragedy in which the families relationships with each other are not going with are not going well. He became prominent literary figure in America, and he also introduced the psychological and social realism to the American age. Further, the first scholarly biography of Eugene O'Neill appeared in the 1960s, and it was written by Doris Alexander. The book was entitled as The Tempering of Eugene O'Neill. In another book of Clifford Leach's Eugene O'Neill, this book is a brief and general introduction about covering the life and writings of him. In that book, Clifford Leach make one comment by saying that Eugene O'Neill's plays can be better understood if one is equipped with the knowledge of his life and circumstances. His masterpiece, Long Day's Journey into Night, is at the apex of a long string of great plays. O'Neill's plays were written from an intensely personal point of view, deriving directly from the scaring effects of his family's tragic relationships. In Long Day's Journey into Night, we can find autobiographical elements in his play, and also about the family's tragic relationships with each other, about the parents and their sons. About the play. Long Day's Journey into Night, a play in four acts by Eugene O'Neill, written in 1939, 1941, produced and published posthumously in the year 1956. The play, which is considered an American masterpiece, was awarded a Pulitzer Prize in 1957. Long Day's Journey into Night is exactly that, long. Why is it long? Because the play is endless and very painful. Also, we can feel the pain through the character of the play. The day of the play, 8:30 a.m. to midnight. A day in the life of tyrants, a trip from day to night, both forward and backward, suggest place realism. As we know that the play depicts a trip, or we can say journey, about the through the night, day to night, and we can also see the past and present in this play through the character of Mary, tyrant. In one article by Beth Rinstra, Darren Wood emphasized that Darren Wood, who was the director of folk theater, and he also took guidance under Eugene O'Neill's theater. He make one comment in this article by saying that this play depicts the claustrophobic nature of the home, as well as the characters' inability to escape the problems of the past, present, and one another. In the play, there are mainly four characters, which is Mary and Edmund, husband, wife, and their sons, Jamie and Edmund. But through their situation of escaping about the problems of the past, the present, and also with the one another. It is a story of one family, and it shows the relationship of the parents and their sons with each other. This play, widely considered to be his magnum opus and one of the finest American plays of the 20th century. Along with that, this play is also about the characters of the play is also struggling to grapple with the responsibility and the consequences in failing to the relationships with one another. Definition of naturalistic dialogue and its key features. According to Merriam Webster Dictionary of English Language, naturalism means an action, inclination, or thought based only on natural desires or instincts. So, these are some key features or elements of the naturalism, in which naturalistic dialogues often includes incomplete sentences, pauses, and interpretations. The goal of naturalistic dialogue is to create a sense of authenticity and immediacy. Naturalistic dialogues are purposeful and driven by the characters' motivations and desires. In the play Long Day's Journey into Night, as we have seen in the movie also, that many times the dialogues are often include incomplete sentences, pauses, and interpretations while they are conversing with each other. And naturalistic dialogues are always helpful and purposeful because they are driven by the characters' motivations and desires. And in this play, we can see the motivations and desires through the character of Mary Tyron. For examples of naturalistic dialogues from this play, I have taken two dialogues in which Mary and Edmund are conversing with each other, and in another dialogue, Mary and James were conversing with each other. So let's see that. In dialogue one, Mary, I wish I could go back to the days when I was young and carefree, when I had my whole life ahead of me. Edmund, you still have your whole life ahead of you, mother. You are not that old. Mary says, oh, but I am Edmund. I am old and tired and sick. I will never be young and carefree again. Mary, okay, so that's the dialogue, and now see the what is the significance of this dialogue in the context of naturalism. In both the dialogues, one can see naturalism used by Eugene O'Neill in this play. In first dialogue, Mary Tyron was conversing with her son Edmund about her past and youthful and younger days. She wants to go back towards the days when she was very much young and youthful, and that is how she expressed her thought and personal desire, that she wants to go back towards her past days. And when Edmund replied that still you have your whole life ahead of you, mother, you are not that old. At that time, Mary replied that I am very old and tired and sick, and I will never be young and carefree again. So this dialogue we can also connect with the addiction of morphine through the character of Mary. In another dialogue, Mary says, I naturally feel tired and nervous this morning after such a bad night. I really ought to go upstairs and lie down until lunchtime and take a nap. James, you do as you think best, Mary. Mary says, you know what I mean. You do not want me to. You never do. James, I didn't say that. Mary, you don't have to. I know you don't like me to. You always want me to stay downstairs with you. In the significance of second dialogue, when she was doing conversation with her husband James, she wants to go upstairs and wants to take some rest until the lunch, but she felt that James don't like that thing, and that is how in both the dialogues from the play we can see naturalism through the dialogues between the two characters. So that is how we can see the examples of naturalistic dialogues from this play through both this conversation. In conclusion, I would like to say that the play Long Day's Journey into Night has the quality of naturalism evidenced by the unfolding nightmares of realities of Titan family life, right from the beginning to the end of the play. Along with that, in the ending part of the play, the way Mary went into her past that shows her natural desire and thought. As we have seen in the movie also, that in the ending of the play, while Mary wore her wedding gown, and she completely sleeps into her past and talked about his past days. So that is how she shows her natural desire and thought. And also the end is very tragic. In that way we can consider. These are my work citations. Okay, so now you can ask me questions.
Hetal, my question is that how does O'Neill use of naturalistic dialogue in his plays reflect the natural rhythms of everyday speech?
Okay, so Eugene O'Neill used naturalistic dialogues in his play because sometimes we want naturalistic dialogues because we want to become realistic. Through naturalistic dialogue, we can also imply it in our daily life and daily routine, and also in this play through the naturalistic theme and naturalistic way of dialogue, the playwright also wants to convey the same thing, the realistic.
Ethel, my question is how do the naturalistic dialogues affect the overall theme of the play Long Day's Journey into Night?
The naturalistic dialogues affect the overall theme of the play. As we have seen that there are many themes in the in the play, like Mary's addiction of morphine, the alcoholism addiction, and also the addiction of past. And through naturalistic dialogue, the playwright Eugene O'Neill wants to convey us the reality and the realistic elements of the characters. So that is how the naturalistic dialogues affects the one of the major theme, which is addiction of the past in the play. Okay, so that is all for today's presentation. Thank you.